It's a brand new year and the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe that just kicked off this month. Marvel MCU Phase 4 has come to an end, closing with Black Panther Wakanda Forever and a couple TV specials, including the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which was a pleasant surprise to most fans, that marked the end of Phase 4 of the MCU. Phase 5 just began in the second month of the year and includes a bunch of new movies and Disney Plus streaming shows, beginning with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania and ending with Thunderbolts in 2024. It's going to be the two exciting years of the MCU. Ant-Man 3 is just the start. Looking forward to more of Phase 5 Marvel movies in the next coming 23 months, including Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, Captain America New World Order, Thunderbolts, and Blade, which has been rumored to have been pushed back to September 2024. It's looking like Blade will be the actual final Phase 5 MCU film. As for Phase 5 TV shows heading to Disney Plus, look out for Secret Invasion, Season 2 of Loki, Ironheart, Echo, Agatha Coven of Chaos, and Daredevil Born Again. Yep, it's almost like you've got a lot of homework to do to stay up to date with the MCU. With so many Marvel movies and Disney Plus shows set to debut between now and September 2024, you'll want to know more about their release dates, cast news, trailers, plot details, and more about the MCU. Luckily for you, we've rounded up every piece of information we can find on Phase 5 of the MCU, so you don't need to go anywhere else. Be sure to subscribe to never miss out on anything. We've got the lowdown on every single upcoming project. Here's everything you need to know about Marvel Phase 5. Phase 5 is the fifth part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the second part of the Multiverse Saga. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige revealed that the MCU's Phase 5 and 6 will include more standalone films during its Multiverse Saga. Feige shared some information in an official Marvel Entertainment interview at the premiere of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the first entry in the MCU's Phase 5. The film introduced a major new villain, Kang the Conqueror, who is destined to appear in future movies, most notably one that bears his name in Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Not only that, but the Quantumania panel also introduced Marvel's classic villain, MODOK, who played a role in the film. However, Feige confirms there will still be movies like Phase 4's Eternals or Shang-Chi with no immediately apparent connection to the larger MCU narrative. After Quantumania, the MCU's Phase 5 will include 5 more movies coming out over the next couple of years. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and The Marvels are set to arrive later this year, while Captain America, New World Order, Thunderbolts, and the new Blade reboot are scheduled for 2024. After this is Phase 6, which Marvel Studios is obviously still keeping a few entries under wraps. What has been confirmed is that Phase 6 will include Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers: Secret Wars. Additionally, Marvel is working on an Armor Wars, a movie starring War Machine, and a Shang-Chi sequel, but these aren't attached to any phase yet. Despite having Ant-Man and the Wasp in its title, Quantumania is definitely not a standalone movie, as the villain Kang the Conqueror is set to make a big splash in the MCU. Kang is an evil variant of a character introduced in the Disney Plus series Loki, the mysterious time-traveling He Who Remains, also played by Majors. The actor will continue to play Kang throughout the aptly named Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers: Secret Wars, making the events of Quantumania a significant plot point in the larger Multiverse Saga. The Multiverse Saga is a saga of films, television series, and television specials of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, encompassing Phase 4, Phase 5, and Phase 6 of the MCU. The saga began with WandaVision and will conclude with Avengers: Secret Wars. The saga gets its name from its prominent theme of the comic multiverse. The previous saga, the Infinity Saga, had its biggest supervillain, which was Thanos. In this saga, named the Multiverse Saga, the big supervillain is Kang the Conqueror. For those who do not know who Kang the Conqueror is, Kang is a Marvel supervillain who is set to become a huge focus in Marvel movies in Phases 5 and 6. He made his debut this year in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The next Avengers movie, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, has his name in the title, so you know he's stepping up. Kang is played by Jonathan Majors and is a time traveler with multiple aliases in different Marvel universes, so expect that to play into the whole multiverse aspect of movies and shows in the Multiverse Saga. Fun fact, the character Kang has already appeared in a Marvel show. He's an alternate version of He Who Remains, who featured in the Loki finale back in July 2021. Jonathan Majors brought Kang the Conqueror to life when he appeared in Loki, at least, that's what we thought, but the truth is a lot more complicated. Majors played He Who Remains in Loki and warned about his evil variants, Kang the Conqueror being the most terrifying in the multiverse. He's now set to be the main villain of Phase 5, from his introduction in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania to the finale, and Avengers, Kang Dynasty in 2025, which makes the latter part of Phase 6. Phase 4's main villains was basically the leftover grief and trauma from the events of Endgame. Each character had their own fallout from the blip, and while that was incredibly interesting in stories like Spider-Man Far From Home and in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but in Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk proved that canonically, the people of the MCU have sort of stopped caring, resulting to the Phase 4 failure. The MCU needed a unifying villain to band around, and Kang was the perfect answer. Kang the Conqueror has arrived to dominate the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now the stage is set for the Conqueror to wage war with the MCU with the release of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Jonathan Majors' villainous character is set to shake up the MCU as the big bad of the Multiverse Saga, making for an Avengers-level threat far greater than Thanos. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is the first MCU film of Marvel's Phase 5, released in theaters the 17th of February, with a return to the quantum realm. Starring Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, who are returning as Ant-Man and the Wasp, they'll also be joined by Hope's parents Hank Pym and Janet Van Dyne, along with Scott's now older daughter Cassie Lang, who is now known as Ant-Girl, taking the steps of her father. The group travel to the quantum realm, where they encounter supervillain Kang the Conqueror, the time-traveling genius who portrayed one of Kang's variants. In the new film, Scott will be enjoying his new fame as an Avenger, which may get in the way of his family life. Embarking on an adventure that will push the family beyond the limits of what they thought possible. It's CGI heavy and features the main character asking to essentially rewrite time. It's a great start for the phase as we get to see why Kang is being heavily praised and getting a deeper understanding of the Multiverse Saga and where it's going. I have a special fondness for Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm extremely excited for the third and final entry in James Gunn's trilogy, not counting the holiday special. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be the end of the story of director James Gunn always envisioned. This is the end of that story. Some stories have an end, doesn't mean everybody is going to die. The third Guardians film takes place after the events of Thor: Love and Thunder. It's largely focused on Star-Lord still struggling to cope with the loss of the Gamora from his universe, and being rejected by the Gamora from an alternate reality. Grappling with the new Gamora from Avengers Endgame, who doesn't share their history and experience, as well as the origins of Rocket Raccoon, so we should expect Rocket's background story and how he was brought up. Chiwetel Ejiofor was confirmed to be the film's villain as the High Evolutionary, debuting on the Hall H stage in full costume. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is scheduled for release on May 5, 2023. I'm sure you don't want to miss this. The Marvels is set for July 28, 2023, and we'll see Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, and Monica Rambeau Spectrum coming together as a dynamic Superwoman trio. It follows Ms. Marvel's post-credits scene, where Carol Danvers and Kamala Khan apparently switched places. Bound to be a controversial film, because internet fandom and entertainment media remain in an endless, fruitless pop culture war, The Marvels brings together Captain Marvel along with the adult Monica Rambeau aka Photon, who gained superpowers during WandaVision, and Captain Marvel's biggest fan, Ms. Marvel. WandaVision writer Megan McDonnell penned the script, which gives me hope for this one. The Marvels will certainly be an exciting chapter in Phase 5 from director Nia DaCosta. Samuel L. Jackson is back as Nick Fury too, so potentially the Skrulls from Secret Invasion could play a role in this film. Velvet Buzzsaw's Zaw Ashton will play the movie's villain. Captain Marvel reunites with Monica Rambeau, the daughter of Captain Marvel's best friend Maria from 2018's Captain Marvel. The last time we saw Rambeau was in WandaVision, and she seemed unhappy when she was looking at a picture of her auntie Captain Marvel, so expect an awkward family-style reunion between the pair. Picking up where the Falcon and the Winter Soldier left off, Captain America New World Order will feature Sam Wilson, more established as the MCU's next Captain America. Wielding the iconic shield, the next Captain America movie will likely see Wilson continuing to grapple with the constantly changing world, as he'll likely be positioned as the next leader of the Avengers. Moreover, Harrison Ford's MCU debut as General Thunderbolt Ross will be happening in New World Order as well, which has prompted theories about the potential appearance of Red Hulk in the MCU. As for the movie's title, it could be a reference to the return of Tim Blake Nelson's Samuel Stearns / The Leader. That said, New World Order could also be a reference to the Red Skull's organization of supervillains of the same name from the comics. Coming from director Julius Onah, the fourth Captain America film is slated for release on May 3, 2024. There is more to look forward to in this film. With so many things unknown and kept a secret by Marvel, guess we'll just have to wait and see. Think of Suicide Squad but Marvel instead of DC. This is yet another major crossover movie, billed as an anti-hero Avengers-style film. Marvel's Thunderbolts includes Bucky Barnes aka the Winter Soldier, Yelena Belova, the Red Guardian, John Walker aka U.S. Agent, Ghost, Taskmaster, and Helmut Zemo. Whatever happens with this bunch of knaves and assassins, bet on it playing a big role in the transition to Phase 6, especially given its proximity to New World Order. In Thunderbolts, we'll see Ford return as Thunderbolt Ross as he puts together a team of supervillains who are sent on perilous missions by the U.S. government. Zemo founded the original Marvel Comics team, but in this film, seems like that's not going to happen. And oh, almost forgot, I know everyone would be happy to know that the Ghost Rider is going to be featured on this film. Yep, the Skull Heat anti-hero will show up in the Thunderbolts. It is unknown who will take the role of Ghost Rider, but do expect this great character in the coming movies of Phase 5 and 6. This is going to be a great movie, very excited to see it because in this film there's going to be less CGI, which Marvel suck at the most these days. Thunderbolts is due to arrive in cinemas on Friday, July 26, 2024. Can't wait to see this one. If it wasn't for the delay of Blade, Thunderbolts would have served as the conclusion of Phase 5's movie slate. Which brings us to Blade, the last film for Phase 5. This film was originally slated as a 2023 release. Blade is now the final film in the MCU's Phase 5, though it's unclear if that's only true of its release date rather than in terms of in-fiction chronology and importance, similar to how Black Widow was released after Endgame despite taking place earlier. Blade is an upcoming reboot of the Wesley Snipes movies about a vampire hunter who is half vampire himself. Mahershala Ali takes on the role that was made famous by Wesley Snipes, and one that he specifically requested when he was filming Luke Cage for Netflix. I couldn't think of a better actor to play the Daywalker, and I'm sad we have to wait so long to see this one. Ali made a voice-only cameo in a post-credits scene of the Eternals that I'm still dying to learn more about. After his off-screen Eternals cameo, Blade is getting a solo MCU movie. The movie is said to be partly set in the 1920s, but it's unclear how much of its runtime will be devoted to that time period. Either way, expect Kit Harington's Black Knight, last seen in the Eternals in the post-credits, and expect Oscar Isaac's Moon Knight to cameo. It's set for release in cinemas on September 6, 2024, closing Marvel Phase 5 movies.
I just want to make sure that you don't think this is one of those cameo every week type of shows. Just remember whose show this actually is.
No, I don't think I will.
Marvel President Kevin Feige has admitted that the studio's approach to its TV show release schedule will change. Feige revealed that Marvel's forthcoming lineup of Disney Plus shows was overstuffed and unwieldy. Subsequently, the studio plans to make sweeping changes around its launch schedule, giving future TV series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe room to breathe and shine, unlike Phase 4, where fans were complaining about feeling like they're being stuffed with too much TV show content and most couldn't get the time to watch all of them, but hopefully that's going to change in this phase. The first Disney Plus show of Phase 5 Marvel TV shows to be released is Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is one of the most known comic book storylines Marvel has ever published. Now, ever since Skrulls were introduced to the MCU in Captain Marvel, the fans were expecting that the storyline will be adapted into a movie. Secret Invasion coming to Disney Plus with Samuel L. Jackson and Kobe Smulders returning as Nick Fury and Maria Hill. The latest MCU spin-off series will explore Nick Fury's complicated relationship with the Skrulls. The pair will be racing to stop the Skrulls, an alien race who have taken over the highest spheres of power in the universe, said to be paranoid shapeshifting aliens and have infiltrated Earth. The Secret Invasion storyline is all about a Skrull invasion, where it appears the shapeshifting aliens have replaced a number of Earth's superheroes. This is a pretty major crossover event, perhaps the biggest since the Avengers films. The upcoming series will also feature the return of Maria Hill and War Machine, though any one of them could easily be Skrulls in disguise. As there's currently no sure way to tell who is a Skrull in the MCU, Secret Invasion promises to be one of the most exciting series slated for Phase 5, though we suspect you can't trust anyone in this series. Marvel boss Kevin Feige has teased that it will be a dark and gritty show. There's also Armor Wars on the way, which will star Don Cheadle's Rhodey and follow on from the events of Secret Invasion. We shall be watching this series very soon as it's set to start early this year, so watch out for that. Loki Season 2 is also scheduled for a summer release in 2023. The second season will see the God of Mischief dealing with the fallout of the first season and Sylvie breaking the sacred timeline. Loki's set to become the very first live-action Marvel series on Disney Plus to get a second season, and it was viewed as the best Phase 4 MCU Disney Plus TV show. The first ended with a Loki variant named Sylvie killing He Who Remains, the keeper of the sacred timeline, and essentially breaking the multiverse. An act that brought forth variants of He Who Remains, one of which is Avengers 5's Kang the Conqueror himself. The sequel will no doubt pick up where that series ended, with Loki and Sylvie trying to navigate this new Kang-dominated era of time. Set photos have confirmed that Sylvie is back, with Sophia Di Martino returning to the role. Other actors coming back include Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson, and Gugu Mbatha-Raw. Jonathan Majors will presumably return as Kang, though that's unconfirmed at this stage. Everything Everywhere All at Once star Ke Quan has also joined the cast. Kevin Feige revealed Loki Season 2 directly connects to all three phases in the Multiverse Saga. Can't wait to see this one. Ironheart will star Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams aka Ironheart, who made her live-action debut in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, now returning for her own Disney Plus series in the fall of 2023. Riri is a proud resident of Chicago, an incredibly gifted engineer who developed her own Iron Man suit in the comics. She's already friends with Wakanda's lead scientist and new Black Panther, Shuri, with whom she designed the all-vibranium Ironheart Mark II armor. As Riri was forced to leave the Mark II in Wakanda, Riri and Shuri may need to design new armored suits in Ironheart. She'll be joined by Anthony Ramos as new villain the Hood, who specializes in dark magic. Nick Fury could make a cameo too. Not a whole lot is known about the show at this early stage, but we can expect the series to tackle the legacy of Iron Man. Can't wait to see this one as well. I did not enjoy Hawkeye, but I guess Marvel did, and that's why we are going to have this Disney Plus show. An anti-hero introduced called Maya Lopez aka Echo, having debuted in Hawkeye. Maya Lopez has her own Disney Plus show, now for what reason? Nobody really knows. Expect to see both Kingpin and Daredevil in the upcoming Disney Plus series, and I wouldn't be surprised if Echo makes her way to the next Daredevil series as well. Echo is the adopted niece of Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, who was last seen being shot in the face by Echo, though we know he survives, as D'Onofrio is back. Plot details regarding Echo are scarce, though we expect the series to pick up where Hawkeye left off. It's set to focus on her origin story as her time in New York City catches up with her when she returns to her hometown. She must make peace with her past and finally embrace her Native American roots if she's to move forward in her new life and understand her power. The series is scheduled for late this year, 2023. Everyone's favorite nosy neighbor, Agnes, turned to the powerful witch, and now Agatha is set to get her own WandaVision spin-off, previously called Agatha House of Harkness, which will be centered around Kathryn Hahn's deliciously evil character, now is called Agatha Coven of Chaos, will be released in winter of 2023. Agatha Coven of Chaos sees Kathryn Hahn reprise her witchy role from WandaVision, but this time she's the central star. Hahn previously teased that the project is exactly what she would have hoped and dreamt of, while Scarlet Witcher actor Elizabeth Olsen has said she would love to be part of the show. There's nothing really substantial available on the plot, though it should tie up some loose ends from WandaVision and potentially reveal how Wanda survived the events of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The series will likely see the powerful witch breaking free from the spell she was placed under by Wanda Maximoff at the end of WandaVision. Considering Scarlet Witch's death following Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, perhaps the spell was broken or weakened. Keep in mind Wanda and the Scarlet Witch don't share the same personality, so it's possible Wanda did not die but Scarlet did. It would be nice to see them meet again and Wanda meeting the new Vision. Coven of Chaos will consist of 9 episodes. It is due for release on Disney Plus in late 2023. Matt Murdock hasn't had his own show since the Netflix Daredevil ended in 2018, as Disney prepared to launch its own streaming service, Disney Plus. But Daredevil has popped up a few times since, with Cox still in the role. First in Spider-Man No Way Home, as Peter Parker's lawyer, the blind superhero also appeared in She-Hulk, and was probably the one good thing about that show, although the main stars of the Netflix Daredevil series, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, will return in Born Again. The Disney Plus series is a reboot, not a continuation. The plot has been kept closely guarded, but it will follow Matt Murdock aka Daredevil, who was reintroduced in She-Hulk Attorney at Law and was ruined in that show. The series is set to be 18 episodes long, making it one of the MCU's longest shows. The release date is currently unknown, but the series will come to Disney Plus sometime early in 2024. We shall see then what the MCU will do with this character after what we saw in She-Hulk. The man looked damaged and disappointed right after spending a night with She-Hulk, doing the walk of shame the next morning after sneaking out on her. And that is everything you should watch out for in this Phase 5 of Marvel MCU. Marvel Phase 6 won't be here for some time yet, but there's still tons of information out there about the next stage of the Marvel Universe. This round of films and TV shows is set to kick off with Fantastic Four, which will introduce Marvel's first family to the MCU. Phase 6 will also contain 2 new Avengers movies, meaning we can expect absolutely huge things to come. With all confirmed projects, along with our best guesses at what might be filling those mystery release slots, such as Black Panther 3, Thor 5, and more. We've also rounded up the rumored projects that could be part of this stage of the MCU, like Wonder Man Plus. We've got the lowdown on Armor Wars here. It doesn't have a confirmed phase just yet, but it's not part of the Phase 5 lineup. With everything that's about to happen in Phase 5, are you excited with the movies and TV shows? If not, let us know why and tell us what would you like to see in Phase 5 and the coming phases as well. Thank you for watching.